Today I am playing Asgard, and I chose Thor, Loki, Valkyrie, and then I added Black Widow and Hawkeye. Initially I had chosen the 3-point Black Widow, but I decided to add the Mind Gem to Loki, so I am now playing the 2-point Black Widow. And my strategy is basically to take my time the first round and just get into the positions I want, grab the hammers I can get, and just kind of take my time and see what these characters can do. I'm not completely familiar with them yet, so I want to make sure that I give myself plenty of time to get them in good position. The team tactic cards I'm playing are Sibling Rivalry, Odin's Blessing, Tactical Analysis, Trip Up, and Professionals. Odin's Blessing is always a good card to have, just if you think you're about to be dazed or knocked out. And then Sibling Rivalry and Professionals, I don't know. There's 2 very specific characters that have to be played on each of those, so I don't know if I'll have the chance to play them, but I hope I do.
Today I'll be playing the Defenders led by Doctor Strange, who has the Time Gem attached to him. Along with him, his faithful assistant Wong and Ghost Rider bring this to the Defenders affiliation. I added Killmonger as my 4th for this list. That brings it to 3 fairly heavy costed characters and 1 not so. And that's kind of a risk. This is really a 4-person list, or 4.5 if you want to think of the Time Gem like that. The Time Gem gives me 1 extra action on Doctor Strange if I can pay the 2 power for it. Obviously, Wong is going to help him do that. Ghost Rider's there just to kind of hit hard, and Killmonger is there to hit incredibly hard, and that goes along with my Team Tactics cards. For my Team Tactics, I'm bringing Pentagram of Farla, Highway to Hell, Doomed Prophecy, Usurp the Throne, and Advanced R&D. Again, as I stated earlier, this squad is kind of built around using Usurp the Throne at a key moment to grab those 2 extra victory points, which would be very clinch. Pentagram of Farla is allowing me to do some fun movement mechanics by creating 2 portals that I can jump between, which will hopefully allow me to maneuver around the battlefield a little faster, although my opponent can use that as well. The other cards in there are really meant for those moments where I need some more options. As they come up, I'll describe the cards at that point, but until then, that's my list. Okay, I'm starting this round by activating Ghost Rider first. I'm utilizing his big base to try to get a lot of movement out of him. My hope is to grab that hammer and then get over to the serum. So this first move is to try to get in range of the hammer, which I can easily do with his movement template and his base. Paid 1 power for that. And then I know it's kind of difficult to see behind this truck, but I can get within range 1 of that serum right there. And that ends my activation with Ghost Rider.
And I'm going to move Hawkeye. I'm picking up a hammer. I wanted Hawkeye to have a hammer because you get an extra attack die with that. And then I'm just kind of putting him a little bit behind that truck to give him some protection.
I know you can't see it just yet. I'm activating Killmonger as my next activation. I did a move to get close to the serum, but my main goal was to get that hammer, which I was able to do.
And I'm activating... Is that Valkyrie? Yes, Valkyrie. And I wanted her to have a hammer as well.
Like, she really needs more damage output. I mean, seriously.
Yes, she does. You can never have too much. And it looks like you skipped your turn here.
Yeah, I passed.
So I moved Black Widow into position. That's the 2-point Black Widow.
Yeah, I found when you're having 4 people, you really have to use that pass strategically. I want to have a better idea what you were going to do. I went ahead and grabbed Wong next. Kind of moved him up into that little forest area. Not that it provided any cover, I just thought, why not? And then I'm going to use my meditate ability and pass over 1 power to Doctor Strange.
Okay, so there's Loki, and I have not played with Loki very much, so I'm really just trying to figure out the best way to play him. I was trying to get him within 4 of some of Andy's characters so that could be in my favor.
And then my final move is Doctor Strange. I just want to get him next to the serum. I had big plans for him next move, and I really didn't want to waste any power this turn, especially with that time gem. So I do check to see if I'm within range of Loki for a Bolts of Bedevilment, but I was just out, so. And it really wasn't worth moving to get that 1 attack in just yet.
Okay, and now I'm moving Thor, and Thor is another character I haven't played before, so I love playing him, but I don't have a lot of experience yet. And I think I just wanted him near the serum there, and then I stopped.
Yeah, and that's the round. It was a rather quick one, just a lot of maneuvering, and that gave us the tie score of 4-4. All right, I'm going to start round 2 by activating Wong. I just want to get him up a little bit closer to that serum so I can claim it and contest it with him. And then I'm going to meditate and give Killmonger a power. I have big plans for Killmonger this turn, so I'm trying to maximize what I can do with him. So instead of giving that power to Doctor Strange as usual, I'm going to give it to Killmonger. And that's my turn.
Okay, and I'm activating Loki. And Loki uses his mind gem here pretty soon.
Is that what you're doing, measuring for the range of that mind gem?
Yes. Yep, I wanted to get close enough to use it. And I'm using it to move Doctor Strange short.
Did you just not feel that Killmonger was dangerous enough, or why did you go for Strange?
I just felt like Doctor Strange is I mean, so far, we haven't played with him. I haven't played with him a whole lot, but it seems like the closer he is to his people, the more dangerous he is. So I'm not sure if that was the right decision, but I know that I wanted him kind of far away, or farther away. And then I'm just trying to make sure Loki is within 4 so that Doctor Strange has and Killmonger both have to pay an extra power to activate a reactive or active power.
What ability does he have that lets you do that?
It is called God of Mischief.
That really is hard. That ability makes you really have to think hard. But luckily, I was out of range for this one. So I'm moving Killmonger up short since that's a size 4 vehicle. And I'm going to target Thor with vibranium weapons. And knowing that his Mystic is his weakest defense, I use the Defender's ability of Mystic Empowerment to make this a Mystic-based attack instead of energy as normal. Not a bad roll. Since I have the hammer, I roll 6 dice on this one. I did 3 damage. I believe he only has 3 defense. Yep. But she blocked 2 of it, so 1 measly damage. But he is hexed. Now, I now realize that this is the Defender's token. Didn't know that at the time. We were confused which one was the Hex and which one was the Defender's. At least we're consistent throughout this game whenever we're hexing, but that token is actually the Defender's token. We found that out after the game.
Okay, so I'm activating Thor.
I know, I'll catch you up. You use your first action to get rid of that.
Yes.
And now what are you doing?
I used my strongest Avenger superpower to throw a size 4 building at Killmonger.
And I dodged 2 points of that damage. So I took 3 damage from that. I honestly actually love that. That was fun. It stinks, but size 4, so 5 damage, that stunk.
Okay, and then for my second action, I'm going to strike.
Ouch.
So that was a good roll.
That's a really good roll.
No wilds, though. I was hoping I'd get a wild so I could throw him short.
That's being greedy. That's just being greedy.
Is it, though?
Don't. I wanted to. Luckily, it's physical, so that's 4 dice defense. But it doesn't really help when you can't roll crap. So I took the full building to the face, and that dazed me. And I dropped my hammer. Not cool, Thor. Not cool. Now, that's not exactly where the hammer dropped. That's just where I put it. She's determining where it drops now. It drops within range 2. Conveniently next to Thor.
Of course. And so I'm going to spend a power to pick up that hammer.
Well, at least Killmonger got his business done before she threw a building at him. Activating Doctor Strange next. Want to make sure I'm next to the serum. The beauty of that serum, I don't know if we mentioned it yet, you get a power from that when you contest it at the beginning of the round, so that's worth an extra power. And I can't help but notice that Loki's super awesomely close, and I try to cast Bolts of Bedevilment on him, but she uses the trickster ability to get out of the way. So, luckily, when he does that, that's not an action anymore. That action, since no one else was targeted or was going to be hit by that, I get my action back. So I'm going to use the pentagram of Farala. I think that's how you pronounce it. Create myself a little portal. Now, this is one of the most cool things I think about Doctor Strange and Wong. It allows you to create a portal, 2 portals, range 5 apart from each other. And by spending 1 point, you can jump through them. The problem is, so can your opponent. These are permanent things on the battlefield. As far as I know, nothing can get rid of them. But she can jump through them too. So I have to be very careful about that. So I got next to Thor, and I'm going to cast Bolts of Bedevilment again, using the Mystic Empowerment, since that's his weakest stat. And that was a pretty crappy throw. So I'm using the Eye of Agamotto to reroll that. For even worse. So totally not worth it. I do have the time gem, so I have one more. I spend the power. I get another Bolts of Bedevilment off on Thor. This time it's a normal energy attack. I do a little bit better this time, but unfortunately I'm going against his energy stat, which is 4. But at least it hit him full. So I was able to do a little bit of damage to Thor. I believe 2 or 3. But I also was able to move him short away. So that gave me control of the that serum right there.
Okay, so I'm going to activate Valkyrie. And she is going to do a charge strike attack on Ghost Rider.
Again, since this is a size 3 and she's only size 2, she has to use short, but that's still plenty. Yeah, you have a hammer on her, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. And I didn't block any of it. Took all that to the flaming face. And that unfortunately gave you a little bit of power.
Yes, my favorite DRAGONFANG. And she's holding a hammer, so 8 dice.
That's a good roll. You got me for 4 on that one. Yeah, Ghost Rider, he's got a lot of stamina, but he doesn't have super awesome defense. I only have 3 dice to defend. So I took 4. That left me on 1 stamina left. So I immediately retaliated. I'm using Flames of Hell on Valkyrie. Big reason, it's a good attack, but I'm also hoping to incinerate her.
That's rude.
Well, she's kind of beefy right now, so I needed to handle that. Didn't do too well on that one. So now I'm using Chains of Damnation. Keep in mind, he also has a hammer, so I should be doing fantastical damage. I whiffed. Big time. Luckily, so did she. I think I only put 3 damage on you all in all in that turn, if I remember correctly.
Okay, so Hawkeye. Oh, I forget what that move's called.
The hook shot.
Right, hook shot. Which came in really handy. And he's gonna go after Doctor Strange.
Rude.
It's what he does.
I'm not even looking at him. And he also has a hammer, if I recall correctly.
Yes, Hawkeye has a hammer.
Range 5 with that hurts. That's a good hit, or a good amount of damage, I should say. That's also a good hit.
Yeah, good job, Hawkeye. I really enjoyed playing Hawkeye. He was fun.
All right, I'm just taking this as a normal hit. Blocked 1 point of that. Blocked 2 points of that.
And I'm going again.
I'm going to be using Horgoth's Hoary Wisdom to give myself additional protection on this attack. Which is good, because she hit me hard again. So I got 5 dice. That would have dazed me. Now, Eye of Agamotto is a beautiful thing on Doctor Strange. Don't even have to spend power to use it, which is even better. So I'm re-rolling all that. As we saw before, that can be detrimental. I'm just hoping it works for me this time. And luckily it does come through. I survive on 1 stamina.
But you got a shock and a bleed.
Yes, you shocked and bled him.
Okay, so I am just going to keep Black Widow where she is.
Alright, top of turn 3, I am activating Killmonger. I've got a lot of power on him, because nothing gives you more power than getting a building thrown in your face and then getting slammed with that hammer. I'm going to go ahead and invoke Usurp the Throne. I use that team tactic. And obviously, Thor is my target here. I'm going to maneuver just so I can stay within 1 of the serum and still 2 of Thor. Usurp the Throne has 2 advantages here. 1 only if I'm successful. The first is I add 2 dice to my attack rolls. So I'm going to start with a Vibranium weapons attack. Just a standard Vibranium weapon attack. But that does give me 7 dice. I don't have that hammer anymore, so I'm just at 7. And it's not bad. I got a pierce out of that. I was happy about that. Unfortunately, that critical did not result in anything, but that was a good solid hit. Nikki was debating using Odin's Blessing here. Ultimately, she did not. And I was able to take out one of those crits because of Pierce. So I took another, I believe, 2 or 3 points of damage. I got Thor down to 1 with that attack. But I wasn't going to take any chances. I needed Thor gone because I needed Usurp the Throne to succeed. So on top of that, I changed my Vibranium Weapons attack to a Mystic Empowerment with a Mystic attack. I also got +2 dice because of Focused on the Kill. That's a Killmonger ability. If I attack the same person twice, I get 2 additional dice that second attack. And that was a really good hit this time. I was pretty confident that I got him. But crazier things have happened when Nikki rolls dice. So it wasn't a given. Luckily, I did it. I dazed him. So I got +2 victory points immediately. That's the other condition for Usurp the Throne. If I can daze them or KO them, 2+ points.
Okay, so I am activating Valkyrie, and I use a power to get rid of Incinerate, and then an action to get rid of Hex.
That's your Guardian power, right?
Yes.
Game power?
Yep. And I'm going to attack Ghost Rider. I believe with Dragonfang.
Definitely have range. And he's sitting on 1 stamina right now. So this was pretty inevitable.
And she's got a hammer, so she gets 8 dice. And I rolled a wild, which means if I hadn't taken him out with this, if I don't, I can still do a strike attack after.
I rolled really well. Unfortunately, I still took 2 damage, and that dazed him. So, I ended up dropping a hammer, and she picked it up. She had plenty of power left after that, so she picked up that hammer. So she's now holding on to 2. So Doctor Strange is going to be my next activation. I'm going to start out by using my superpower, Astra's Refuge, which will heal me for 3, and my first action is actually going to be to remove that bleed. Now I'm eyeing up who's behind me, and that would be the guy who shot me in the back.
You shoot a guy in the back 1 time.
I'm trying to get in range of the Crimson Bands of Sidorak. My hope here is to hit a crit, a wild, and a hit all at the same time, which would put an activation token on him, which is way better than really anything else, honestly, because it removes his ability to do an action this round. It's a 5 dice, and if not, you stagger. I rolled really well. Unfortunately, no crit. 4 points of damage there, though. And he absorbed 2 of that, so for 3. I was able to pull that off because of the time gem, by the way. That gave me my 3rd action there. Love that time gem.
And you forgot to stagger me.
I did, but ultimately I guess it wouldn't have mattered much because of your Asgardian leadership ability.
Yeah, I had some power built up. I could have just taken it away with that on my turn.
But yeah, that was a mistake on my part.
Yep.
I was so focused on that crit. So let that be a lesson to you all.
So I'm moving Hawkeye over there by the serum. And then I'm going to attack Wong.
Wong, who hasn't done a darn thing to anybody this whole game. He was being peaceful. He's meditating.
He's got my serum.
It's a pretty solid hit. I hope you feel good about yourself, Hawkeye.
I do.
Yep.
Or he does, rather. I feel good for him.
Yeah, Wong has a grand total of 2 defense when he's not by Doctor Strange on his physical. So that's what I have. There's a skull. There's a hit. I accidentally rolled over that skull. So yeah, he is dazed.
Okay, so Loki. And I'm trying to decide what to do with him. And there's just not really a whole lot at this point, so ultimately I just decide to move him by a serum just to kind of Ghost Rider's days, so I can take that one pretty easily.
Yeah, because Valkyrie's not technically within 1.
Right. And then Black Widow, I just left her there at that serum.
Alright, I'm going to start this turn out with Ghost Rider. I owe Valkyrie a little bit of payback. And she's sitting on 1 health, and she's got 2 hammers. So I really need to take her out. I'm going to use Hell on Wheels. Didn't capture that on the camera. But I realized after I took a look at the setup, I could get both of them with a beam attack if I moved. So I used my superpower. That cost me 1 extra because of Loki to reposition myself right behind Loki. And now I'm going to do a Flames of Hell attack. This is a beam attack, so it will hit both. I start with Valkyrie. And roll absolutely abysmal. Some colorful language may have been spoken at this point.
Somebody needed a timeout.
Yeah, so she blocked that. Totally whiffed that roll. I made a second attack, this time targeting Loki. Uh, 3 damage, not too bad. But alas, Loki had other ideas. You've got a lot of use out of Trickster in this game.
Yeah. So he gets to move, I think it's short. Is that right?
I don't know, you tell me.
Gotta look at his card again. Yeah. He moves short if he's being attacked, and it can sometimes get him out of the way.
So, but since it was a beam attack, I had to go with the first part, so I still use that activation. I then used Chains of Damnation on Valkyrie. Much more solid hit. I just needed to hit her for 1 stamina. That's all I was asking for here. Luckily, Nikki obliged, and I was able to finally daze Valkyrie. That was worth 2 hammers. I still had some energy left, some power, and I was able to grab both those hammers. I wasn't touching the serum. I wasn't within 1 anymore, but I had the hammers, and that's all I really cared about.
And Loki is safe behind the truck.
Some might say cowardly.
He survived. Okay, so that's Thor. He's moving up. And he's going to do God of Thunder on Doctor Strange and Killmonger.
You targeted Doctor Strange first.
Yep.
Very good hit. I did use Orgoth's Wisdom on that one to give my little self a little bit extra defense. You still managed to hit me pretty well. I actually re-rolled that using Eye of Agamotto. That is a beautiful ability.
Okay, so then Killmonger, and I did not roll well.
Yeah, she hit me for one on Killmonger. And I was able to take all of it. But Thor being Thor.
Yes, Thor decides to throw a truck at Doctor Strange.
Yeah, poor Doctor Strange. Yeah, she dazed me. That was a good attack. So I activate Killmonger next. Get him next to the portal, the pentagram. And I use a power to zip on over. And say hi to my friend Hawkeye over there.
He doesn't want to talk to you.
Well, I felt he needed a good conversation. So I'm gonna do a Black Ops strike on him. I had I had a hammer on me for this one. And I realized I had a kill count token as well, which allowed me to reroll, but I missed that one as well. So I did, I think all in all 3 damage on him. And luckily, he took all of it, so I was able to daze Hawkeye. And I grabbed his hammer as well. Actually, no, that hammer fell. That hammer falls over by Wong. I was out of power at that point.
Okay, so Loki's gonna move. And he's going to attack Ghost Rider. He doesn't really have great attacks. He mostly has tricks up his sleeve, but he's going to attack him with illusions. And if I had rolled 2 wilds, I could have, I believe, moved him his speed. Which I did not. And there was 3 hits.
And I was able to soak 2 of those, so I took 1 damage.
Oh, and then oh, that's right. I used the Mind Gem to move him back.
Then Wong activated. He grabbed that hammer and just stayed there. There was really no point. Hawkeye was down. If need be, I was going to have to attack Hawkeye with Wong, but that didn't need to happen.
And there's Black Widow. I just left her there.
And wow, that was one heck of a game. Really good game, Nikki.
Good game, Andy.
Thank you. That's tough. When Nikki will definitely make you play your dangest in a game like that. She's a super strategic player, and I knew, whether she wants to believe it or not, that I was on the wrong foot the game, because she brings it every time.
I really thought I was going to win, honestly, until in the end I lost my focus.
And that's it. It's very easy to do that for anybody, I think. Thor definitely is a very good leader, but so was Doctor Strange. So we had two very good leaders who treat each of their squads differently. And I think you really did well with that. You threw a lot of things at me this game, and they hurt a lot.
Yeah, I tried. I tried to throw as much stuff at you as I could.
And I took most of it to the face. I couldn't, when you first look at a game like this, or at least to me, I look at it, and yeah, you throw and it's size +1, and that seems pretty cool. But then you have to realize, A, everyone's defense is not super awesome, and B, that's straight damage in the sense that you don't have to roll it. It's an automatic X amount of damage minus the dice for dodge. And when you're getting a size 5 thing thrown at you, or size 4, I'm sorry, in this case, that's pretty significant, and that's hard to dodge. At least you're going to probably take some damage from it, unless you're incredibly lucky, which I am not. So,
well, you won the game.
So
I barely what else do you want, Andy?
I won the game because I usurped the throne. Mm-hmm. If I didn't have that card in this list, or in this game, there's more than a good chance you would have won.
Yeah, I think my downfall, obviously, usurped the throne, started it all, but Valkyrie losing those 2 hammers, and I knew she was going down, so I should have done... I'd have to go back and just keep watching it to see exactly what I should have done, but I should have done something differently. Valkyrie lost her hammers, and then followed by, was it Hawkeye?
Yeah.
So I lost 3 points right there in that one round. So if I could have done something differently, and I'm going to have to just go back and look. And what do you think? What could I have done differently? Tried to protect Valkyrie more, or
sort of, but she's kind of the glass sword. She hits hard. She can't take a very good hit, even though, my God, did I bomb a number of attacks with Ghost Rider on her.
Well, one thing I was thinking is, I was like, okay, I want Valkyrie to have a hammer because she's a hard hitter, and this will be even a harder hit. But Black Widow was back there by her serum, just kind of holding it down. And so if she'd had a hammer, that would have been my solid 2 points every round. But maybe you would have come after her then. I don't know.
But the fact you would have made me come after her,
yeah.
And I would have to be at least range 3 before I could do anything to her.
Right.
That's really, yeah.
So maybe I would have done that differently, especially when you only had 4 and I had 5. If I had Black Widow kind of back there, if she'd grabbed a hammer and held on to it and held down the serum, well, that might have changed the game.
Yeah. From our previous conversation, I know you weren't as impressed with Loki, but I tell you what, and it's not that you don't think he's a good player.
No, yeah, he was fun to play for sure.
He's kind of terrifying, and I think he inspires more terror than his points really justify in one sense. And it's just because I know he's going to totally F with my people, with my whole strategy. You did it 3 times in this game, where now. Did it work to my advantage in a couple ways? Eventually, with the pentagram at least. But he is just, I know he can't hit hard, but the fact that he's going to make me use an extra power, on top of the fact that this War of the Crisis automatically makes you pay more power if you're using a team tactic with a person who has a hammer, you really cause inflation in this game with your people. And that's kind of terrifying, because, it's like, well, now I have to have my strategy plus a little bit more to make sure I always have enough power to do what I want to do. So, yeah, he was a very good character, very kind of scary. And like I said, I didn't really do a whole lot to him, But I was always aware of where he was in the game.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's worth the amount of points, but he definitely has a lot of tricks up his sleeve, and he can kind of annoy the other. I don't know. It'd be interesting to play this game with a different character than him and see how I did.
Yeah. I think he requires a little bit of not finesse, because you definitely have finesse. You just need some practice to see where his limits are.
Well, I think it's not automatically obvious.
I would 100% agree with that.
What he's doing. It's more subtle. So if he's causing you annoyance, I feel that I've done my job.
Yeah, well, job well done. Were you happy with the fact that you put the mind gem on him?
Yeah, because there was a couple of times that I moved, I think, Ghost Rider back once, and I moved Doctor Strange back. That I think, it caused them to have to make another action to move up where they wanted to go. So that was, I think that was worth it. And Black Widow, because I kind of traded the mind gem in for the 2-point Black Widow instead of 3-point. Well, she was just holding back the serum. She was doing just fine. So I feel like that was a good decision.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Again, more ways of him to screw with my squad.
Yep.
So going to the defenders, Doctor Strange, he is kind of amazing. He was a 7-point person for my game since I had the time gem on him. Maybe a little bit too much points for even an 18-point crisis. Maybe a little bit too much, but I feel like he did enough in the game that it kind of justified that cost. I don't know.
I mean, I thought he was pretty phenomenal myself. I felt like he was really hard to bring down.
Yes. The fact that he can heal himself or other people, he can add defense. He's got the Crimson Bands of Sodarak. That has a big terror potential. I almost pulled it off this game. In our practice game, I did pull it off. I think with him, you need more dice. And you shocked me. So I wasn't able to use my maximum number of dice on him, which really hurt. So, yeah, he was fun. I definitely am looking forward to playing him again. Wong... he is good, but he's kind of an early game boost, late game detriment. Mm-hmm. He can't hit for anything really, and yes, giving power to other people is really good, but in this particular game, when the serums did the same thing, it was a little bit redundant. Now, I was able to pull off some amazing things with Killmonger because of Wong, and I can't deny that. But, I used to think he'd be an auto-include in all these kinds of lists with the Defenders, especially Doctor Strange. And I'm, kind of the opinion after playing him a few times, he's definitely a good include. I don't think he's an auto-include.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, he's too easy for me to target.
Yeah, too physical defense. Come on.
Yeah.
What kind of monk is he?
Well, because that's the first thing I was like, I'm just going to flick him off right now. And because the other three are obviously way harder to kill. So.
Right. Which leads us to Ghost Rider. He is 5 points. I don't think I played him well. I think has way more potential than what I was able to pull off in this game. His big base and medium movement is definitely nice. I took full advantage of that first round. I like him. I need more practice with him.
Yeah, it's also just how you rolled. So,
yes.
I mean, he seemed good to me. I thought I played Valkyrie better this time. We had a practice game beforehand, and you pretty much just flicked her off in the beginning. So I played Valkyrie a lot better. I think I was a better opponent this time.
Yes.
Than our practice game. So there's that.
Yeah. No. That's it. Nikki's very much a fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me kind of person. And she's not going to let you fool her twice and things. So, yeah, Ghost Rider, definitely solid. Killmonger, I have to say it. MVP of the game, even though, Doctor Strange was awesome. And I love him. A good portion of this victory came from his abilities. Killmonger's usurped the throne. That has been a crutch that I need to get away from. Because we've played other games where I've tried to do it, and I've lost the game because I put too much effort behind it. In this game, I knew I had kind of an opportunity at one point, and if I failed in that opportunity, I was just going to have to play this as a normal, quote, normal game without, knowing that Usurp the Throne would save my butt. I said it before, when you're going against Thor, you need to usurp him when he's on his healthy side, when he only has 6 health. Because when he flips over to 8, that just seems super hard to get rid of, those 2 extra points. He just seems so much more beefy. And I know that's, again, more psychological than that, but yeah, Killmonger, definitely, I was very happy with him this game.
Yeah, I was very unhappy with him. So, there you go.
So, any final thoughts?
Just, my next game, I'm going to stay more focused to the end. I definitely lost my focus the last round. Honestly, it ended kind of quickly there, and
yeah, and again, it was just that one point. Technically, if that hadn't happened, the game would have ended anyways with you scoring that final point to win. But yeah, it was a fast game. It went fairly well. I don't think I'll be doing 4 people again anytime soon. So the Black Order, as the way most people play it, is out for me because it's too stressful.
Yep.
I'm not good enough at this point of the game to play 4 people and feel very confident with that. So it was a fun experiment. We'll have to try this one again, but next time, 5 people again.
All right.
All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed this. We enjoyed it. And we hope to see you again. Have a good time.